Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Spooktober episode of We Watch Shudder. I don't know why I did it like that, but it felt right. My name's JD. Who's here with me?
It's Michelle.
It's Spooky Michelle.
Spooky Michelle.
We're here to talk about more spookums. It's Spooktober. Has the month been going well for you so far? I guess it is technically October now when we're recording this one. There, I hit it right away, Michelle. 30 seconds in, letting them know. It's October 2nd as we record this. It's not coming out for a couple of weeks, but I hope your October is going well. I hope Spooktober 2024 is a good one for you. We started out with a good one, Michelle. We had our single best play day ever, or best play count day, yesterday, October 1st, because one of you wonderful people out there, I'm assuming a brand new listener, decided you needed to download the entire 240 episode history of the show. I don't know who you are, but I love you. Okay, Michelle.
I'm glad that they did that the day before I had a therapy appointment scheduled.
Right?
Because in therapy, I was like, this thing happened, and I know that I should be happy that somebody downloaded all our episodes. But all I can think is they definitely downloaded all of those because they hate us and they want evidence to show people why we suck. And she was like, let's process that. I got to process that a little bit.
My immediate thought was, yeah, it's probably some, like, AI data skimmer that just is pulling our entire history to, I don't know what information they would pull from it or whatever, but that's immediately where I went. It couldn't be because somebody was just entertained enough or curious enough to pull our whole show, could it? No, not possible.
No, what is possible, though, is that I was recording on the wrong input, but I did just switch it.
Oh, sweet. We're only 2 minutes in. It's going to be
exactly.
fine.
Yeah, no, I saw it and I went, oh, no, and now I'm peeking. Okay, there we go.
Michelle, we had, we spent a whole couple of minutes talking about how I was making sure that my inputs were selected properly.
Yep.
It's all right.
And then I was the problem.
It's okay. We're all in it together.
I'm the problem. It's me.
It's me. It's you.
It is.
It's us.
It's us.
It's life.
Well, if my audio got better or if my audio got worse, like I'm sorry if that's the case.
Oh God, I hope
I have no idea.
Worse.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I think that should
be
apparent
what we're
to
doing.
Everyone. Yeah?
Yeah, we're talking about Spooktober movies.
Oh, sweet. Good.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I've been watching a lot of Spooktober movies, so I hope we're going to talk about them.
Me too. If this is the first time you're tuning in, by the way, thank you for checking us out here in Spooktober. We've been doing this for 3 years running now. We got a new episode coming out every day this month. This year we're doing all Halloween related movies. Some of them horror movies, some of them a little bit less horror, a little bit more family friendly spookums, if you will. And that's what we're talking about today, is one of those more family friendly spookums. Michelle, which spookums are we talking about? This one is on the list 100% because of you.
Yeah, we are watching one from my childhood that I have not seen since I was fairly young, and that I don't think you had seen ever. So we are watching 1998 Halloweentown, a Disney movie.
Yeah, I had not seen this. 1998, I was 17, 18 years old. And by that time, of course, was just way too cool for school, and this kind of thing would never have crossed my radar. Plus, my family was broke, and we didn't have the Disney Channel, so I never would have been able to see it except maybe on home video anyway. And just, had never gotten around to seeing it. And funnily enough, I ended up having to see it twice. Well, not having to, I shouldn't say that. But I ended up seeing it twice because about a week before I was supposed to watch it for the show, for some reason, my mom decided to sit down and, watch all three. I guess there's four of them. I'm told. But she watched 3 Halloweentown movies in a row just for shiggles, I guess. But, so this is kind of a first time around for me. Not kind of, it is, for sure.
Well, sweet. Should we get into it then? Maybe start with an IMDb descripty script?
I mean, you could do an IMBD descriptee script, but I would prefer an IMDb descriptee script.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll process that in therapy next week too.
I'm
like,
such a dick.
Why do I switch around letters? And why do I not know words? Do I have a brain tumor? It's funny because I started today's therapy appointment being like, yeah, I don't know if I really have much to say. And then at the end, I was very close to crying. So therapy is going really well.
Isn't that kind of how it goes with a lot of our episodes sometimes?
Yeah, that too. And then John was asking, like, so how did therapy go? And I was like, I'm really broken. And I completely forgot that. And my entire belief system is wrong. And I need to process what I've found out about myself today. So
I'm waiting for the day John comes to you and is like, how was therapy today? And you're like, JD was a real asshole about the movie today for some reason.
Yeah, the therapy portion of the show did not go well. I did explain to my therapist today that we do a therapy section in each episode, and she was delighted by that. She loved it. She thought it was very funny. She's like, I love that you're open about it. I was like, yeah, we're very broken people.
Maybe if we're lucky, your therapist will start listening to our show.
We should do a special episode where I interview my therapist and give her permission to tell everything I've told her.
Michelle, how recently did you tell your therapist about your podcast?
I've only seen her 3 times, so maybe she did download the catalog.
You see where I'm going here. I'm like, maybe Michelle's therapist is the one who decided, we need to investigate. This seems like, little does she know, she's got literally 7 complete days worth of audio she's gonna have to listen through.
She's gonna cancel all her other appointments, just nonstop listening to the show. Completely. I did tell her that she has to see The Substance today. So nice, I convinced her to go see The Substance.
Nice.
So it was a good day in therapy. Okay, anyway, the IMDb descriptee script for Halloweentown. When a young girl living with her secret witch mother learns she too is a witch, she must help her witch grandmother save Halloweentown from evil forces. Halloweentown, 1998, TVG, 1 hour, 24 minutes. JD, I'm curious to know how you feel about Halloweentown. Would you like to tell us?
Well, it depends. Would you like my thoughts to be spoiler-free?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Let's not spoil this 26-year-old movie.
Captain Pedantic strikes again.
Everyone's least favorite superhero.
Oh, except mine. Anyway, look, here's the thing. This is I'm still not the right person for Halloweentown, right? I totally get what Halloweentown is. I understand the audience that it was targeted at or who they were supposed to be. I don't have anything against it in any way. It was just very challenging to get through because this may be, and I know I've said this a few times, but this is one of those movies that's like just as not for me as a movie can possibly get. Here are my big takeaways from Halloweentown. The lady who plays the main character's mom is April O'Neil from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Yes.
And there's a hilarious moment when the girl says, "I'm a Wiccan," and I won't explain all the details to it until we get to the spoilers section, but I rolled over this moment for literally the rest of the entire movie. Yeah, I mean, I almost feel bad even giving it a rating because it's so not for me, but we rate on our personal experience and not, or at least I do, and not on the supposed quality. So for me, this is like a 2 skull.
Oh, a 2 skull is still actually pretty nice, though.
Yeah, I mean, I can't hold anything against it. So, I mean, I'm not going to be like, fuck Halloweentown. What a dumb, boring thing. 0 skulls, It just, I don't mind that I saw it, It's just, not for me.
It's not Hubie Halloween levels of dislike.
I haven't obviously forgotten that I saw it, but I have thankfully mostly forgotten everything there is to remember about Hubie Halloween, and that makes me very happy.
Maybe Halloween is very funny at points, and I hate myself for thinking that. Okay, JD, would you like my spoiler-free thoughts on Halloweentown?
I mean, not particularly, but the podcast is what it is, so why don't you go ahead?
Okay, writing that down to talk to my therapist.
Wow,
next Wednesday as
what am I so?
well.
No, hang on. First of all, I apologize. I don't know.
You do not apologize. I'm snarking at you all the time. You're just tossing it back today.
But I haven't been this sassy in a while. Holy shit.
You're feeling some kind of way.
I guess so. Anyway, Michelle, please continue.
I have some recommendations for a lady you can talk to about that. She's pretty great.
Wouldn't that be something? Oh, yeah. Michelle,
what?
You should give me her name, and I will, because I've been looking for a new therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go get, and we just won't tell her, and we'll see how long it takes for her to figure it out.
Okay, 1, hilarious. 2, I have already talked about you.
Oh, by name?
You probably, and said that you probably need a therapist too, because I was talking about how we have a therapy portion of the show and that we really
fair.
Need it.
Well, in that case, ask her if she's taking new
funny.
patients.
She is. I will give you a referral.
Well,
he's pretty great.
All
I have
right.
another friend who goes to her, and I don't care. We don't talk about each other, so it's cool.
Yay.
Okay, Halloweentown. I had so many very, very fond memories of this movie. When it came out, I was probably around 9 or 10. And I watched it every Halloween for a while. I was starting to get kind of like out of the age of when I would care about this a ton when Halloween 2, Calabar's Revenge, came out in 2001, but I still got excited to see the sequel. I remember nothing about the third and the fourth movies released in 2004 and 2006. By that point, I was, kind of getting into an angsty teen phase, so just did not have time for Disney movies, or at least didn't tell people that I was still watching Disney movies. Watching it again, I didn't have the same kind of level of adoration that I used to, and that's kind of a bummer. Part of it is that we won't get into spoilers, but my opinions on the adults and how they behave in this movie has completely swapped as I have become an adult, and I found the kids to be kind of shitheads. So growing up, I was like, oh yeah, this girl's gonna be a witch. I love that. Don't listen to your mom about it. Like, yeah, I wish I was a witch. So that's how I felt. And now I'm like, guys, you need some parental guidance and not from who you're getting it from. So, I felt different about it. But that said, like, there's still a hint of nostalgia for me. So it's not like I dislike it. I just might not ever have to go back and watch this movie that I really, really enjoyed as a child. So you know what? Because it is based on our level of enjoyment, not anything about the actual movie itself or anything that could be almost like an objective rating, I am also going to go with a 2 for Halloweentown.
2 skulls, almost like an objective rating. Objective rating is impossible, Michelle. That's the whole
but I'm
point.
saying that everybody could agree. Maybe the acting is great. I music
understand.
is great. Like, it could be like a like, how are you going to argue that kind of thing? So I'm like,
That's
just
fair.
Based on I felt kind of meh about it. So. With that said, should we get into spoilers?
Yeah, guys, if you've never seen Halloweentown and you don't want us to spoil it for you, I can't imagine there's a single one of you who meets those 2 criteria. But this is where you're going to want to pause to avoid spoilers and then come back when you're done. All right, Michelle. So this was one that you were into as a child, in your youthen days, as they will say sometimes. And then you said you hadn't seen it for quite a while. How long would you say? Almost 20 years, considering it's like 2024 at this point?
I would say probably about 10 years, because I did see it when the second one came out, which would have been 2001. I'm sure I probably watched it a couple times after 2001 because it was a Halloween tradition. Disney put out a couple different Halloween movies that they tended to play during October each year, and it was this one. And then I think one was like My Mom's Dating a Vampire or something. I really enjoyed that one. They put out some older stuff, and this was just always part of the rotation. So I feel pretty sure that I watched it when I was at least junior high, maybe even high school if it would have been on, and my younger siblings were watching it. So probably
How
about that, though.
how many total times, if you had to estimate, would you say you have seen this film?
7. Let's go with 7.
Okay. And of course, the reason I ask is because this is my favorite part of every episode. Every now and then I get to do it, but look, I'm going to be straight and real with you. It's been 3.5 weeks since I watched this movie, and we're finally getting to record the episode. And I don't even know if I could possibly do this at this point. So, Michelle.
Yeah.
If you would please, would you give us an impromptu summary of the plot of Halloweentown?
Will do. First, I would like to point out that 2 things. First off, when you said, has it been roughly 20 years since I've seen this? I said, no, high school. And now I'm realizing that was roughly 20 years ago.
I didn't even catch that, but God,
I
we're
said,
so
like, no,
old.
probably like 10 years. But no, it is 2024. I graduated high school in 2007. So time, it keeps a moving on. Secondly, I also saw this movie about 3 weeks ago, and I feel like it's been 20 years since I've seen it. We planned on recording 3 episodes tonight because we are behind on our Spooktober. We record in advance for the things that get released on the show so that we have time to watch our actual Spooktober list of, a new horror movie every day. And I was so focused on remembering all of the stories from the anthology film Trick or Treat, I completely forgot to look up a recap of Halloweentown. So let's do this.
Do it, Michelle. Do it.
Okay. So Kimberly J. Brown. I used to think that she was a gigantic actress, but it turns out that she was just in a lot of movies I liked, which was the Halloweentown franchise, Quince, which was another Disney movie, and Rose Red. I fucking loved Rose Red. I loved the diary that accompanied Rose Red. That was a favorite of mine. So Kimberly J. Brown, not the A-star celebrity I thought she was, and that's very disappointing. Give that lady some Academy Awards. Give her a Grammy, an Emmy, the Pulitzer Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize. Give her all of them because I like Kimberly J. Brown, but she plays a shithead in this movie. So Marnie Piper is turning 13, and
that's Kimberly J. Whoever.
Yeah, that's Marnie Piper.
Okay.
How dare you? But so Marnie Piper, she's turning 13, and she lives with a younger brother and a younger sister, and her mom, and her grandmother comes to visit, and she's like, yeah, I get to hang out with my grandma. And her mom, aka April O'Neil, is like, oh man, I'd rather be hanging out with the turtles. And she's like, I have a troubling relationship with my mother, but I'm not gonna let my children see that. And I felt like the grandma overstepped because she's trying to drop hints that these kids are actually witches and a warlock. And the kids, they are very intrigued by that, but she can't outright tell them because that would be stomping on her daughter's boundaries. But like, maybe that daughter should go no contact. How she considered that? Low contact does not seem to be working because Debbie fucking Reynolds cannot stay in her lane and let this parent how she wants to. So Marnie and her shithead siblings, they all sneak onto the same bus as their grandma because that's a really smart move. I guess it's originally just the 2 older kids, but the little girl comes along because she's also a shithead. Just these kids suck. So they go to Halloweentown, and whoa, it's Halloween in the town all the time. And Halloweentown, time passes differently there. It goes by much slower. So, maybe they'll just live there for a while with their grandma, and the grandma's not going to tell the mom. This was also 1998, before cell phones existed. So there was the mom just has to sit by the landline, and the grandma has to hope that her daughter does not find out that she fucking kidnapped her children. But anyway, so the grandma crosses another line and tells them, hey, you're witches, and also, could you help me stop this evil presence in the town? At 13 years old, you're definitely equipped to take care of this. Are you fucking kidding me, Debbie Reynolds? I had such a problem with her relationship. I know the kids are like, whoa, we grew up with a witch mother. So did I. And I would recommend going no contact with yours going forward. It was the right move for me. Anyway, So Debbie Reynolds, no respect for these children's welfare or their mother's wishes. She enlists them to help. She is basically taking this torch that lights up, and then it's supposed to help get rid of bad stuff. And it doesn't work. And long story short, Debbie Reynolds gets stuck in a movie theater as a statue. Let's just jump to that point. Debbie Reynolds out of the picture. Aggie Cromwell cannot help. Not dead, because it is a Disney movie. I kind of would have preferred that she died, though. I think this movie would have gotten a much higher score from me if it was not G-rated and they did take some of those darker twists. But I'm also in my 30s, and Halloweentown from 1998 was not made for someone like me. So the kids decide that they're going to band together, and it winds up being the town mayor who is turning Halloweentown evil. April O'Neil, aka Mama, she shows up and she meets the mayor, and he's all jealous because she ran off with the human, and she could have had like a good warlock like him. It's this whole bullshit. Like, guy, how long ago was it? This lady's child is 13. You're still pining after her. You haven't found another relationship. Maybe the problem is you. You weren't even dating her, and you're still obsessed. What the fuck are you, Severus Snape? Like, get the fuck over it. But then the kids, they find out that there's a gigantic pumpkin. What do you do with the pumpkin? You light it up. So they do that, banishes evil. Aggie Cromwell still in the picture. I know that there is a sequel to this movie, so I'm pretty sure that she comes back for a sequel, and that's the least believable part, that the mom is just okay with all the bullshit that happened at the beginning. It doesn't matter if your kid stopped an evil sorcerer from, like, none of that matters. Like, your mother overstepped. That was the real issue in this movie. I don't care about the plot with the evil sorcerer. I care about these family dynamics, and I am absolutely team Gwen Piper. The fact that Aggie Cromwell just doesn't give a shit what her daughter thinks and is going to parent how she wants. Fuck off, Aggie Cromwell. Halloweentown. Yeah.
The big peak, the big finish. Fuck off, Aggie Cromwell.
She's so irritating because I'm like,
oh,
how
God. Yeah.
dare you? Like, I understand, like, have a better conversation with your daughter, but your relationship is strained, and maybe you guys have bigger problems, and like, Marnie might grow up and resent that her mother didn't teach her to be a witch and that she lost her spells and or her like magic for that. But that's the thing that she needs to handle with her daughter. Parents make decisions for their children all the time that the kids don't agree with when they grow up. That's part of parenting, is making decisions for your kids that you hope are in their best interest. Most of the time. Some parents, also shitty. Let's not get into that. I have therapy for that reason. But God, I was so mad for her. Like, how dare she? And growing up, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, your grandma shows up and tells you that you have magical powers. That sounds great when you're too young to know better. But clearly this other town is dangerous, and there's a reason your mom doesn't want you to be part of that world.
Yeah, I think if we're analyzing this from, like, a realism perspective, you're absolutely right. Like, the children are wrong. The grandmother is wrong. The only person in the whole movie that is right is the mom, and even she goes wrong eventually.
Yeah, because she's like, oh, it's okay that you kidnapped my children. We can have a better relationship.
Like, oh, it was because we had to do this thing, and it turns out it was for the right reasons. So whatever. Yeah, it's but it definitely strikes me as a story where they just didn't stop to think about those things, and not something where they were like, oh, we actually think these are no. I honestly barely remember anything about this movie. I remember that it's about a family where the dad is out of the picture, and grandma takes the kids to Halloweentown, and they got to save Halloweentown from the bad guy. I remember the basic plot, but it's been so long, and I was so disconnected from it that I don't remember a lot of the details. I remember the little shithead kid from Halloweentown who it turns out is like a goblin. At the end, his glamour wears off and he's not a boy anymore. He's like a weird goblin creature. I feel like he, in a lot of ways, was one of the only likable and forgivable people in the film. He's just like a kid, right? He's being manipulated by this dickhead mayor, to making him a bad guy. In the end, he comes through in the clutch, right? He does the right thing. That kid's the fucking hero of the whole story, or that goblin or whatever. But, it just, it's very silly, and very light, and it's just, like, this, I think it was supposed to be for teens, but it feels like it should be, like, when I say teens, I mean, like 13, 14, that kind of, but this feels like, I don't even know especially with the way the internet is making kids so sophisticated, so young, I'm not even sure like 5 or 6 year olds would be able to enjoy this movie today. Just because it's so, I don't know. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. But I don't even really have a whole lot more to say about it. Honestly, I saw it. It's a movie. It's about Halloween. It's about a town where it's Halloween all the time. That would be cool. I like that idea. In fact, there's probably
a taxi cab driver.
Yeah,
I forgot. He was cool.
Yeah. The thing I was talking about earlier is oh god, yeah. So grandma shows up and she's got Halloween costumes for all the kids. And I don't remember what she gave the little girl and the middle kid who was the brother, but
Dylan.
she's Dylan. But the big sister, Marnie? Okay, whatever.
Marnie.
That's just all I remember is Judith Hogue is the mom. And so and Debbie Reynolds somehow is the grandma. What is anyway, and she says, "Oh, and look, I'm a Wiccan." Like, could have just said I'm a witch. It would have been fine. But she says, "Oh, and my costume is a Wiccan," which is not a thing that has a uniform or a costume at all. And even if it did, it wouldn't be this, like Cinderella princess, like, cone-shaped tassel hat, bright pastel rainbow color, like Glinda the Good Witch fucking outfit. It's like, it's just like somebody was trying so hard. Like I don't know if they were deliberately trying to avoid the word witch, but I mean, clearly not, because they say it so much later on. So, like, why doesn't she just say, "Oh, look, I'm a witch"? Is it because it was so obviously not a witchy costume? I don't know. But something about that movie,
logic.
something about that moment just stuck in my head for the whole movie. I couldn't see that girl for the rest of the movie without being like, "I'm a Wiccan."
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I found that kind of silly and fun.
I was excited to revisit something that I used to love, and just like so many things, it does not hold up. So probably will never have to watch it again.
I had the same experience. I think we've talked just briefly before about a Disney thing that was on the Magical World of Disney like monthly special on ABC back in, I want to say, 85 or 86. But it's a thing they did called Mr. Boogedy, which I remember as being just like super spooky and creepy as shit. And I remember it aired on TV once, and then I never saw it again because it was a movie of the week special at that time. And then I never saw it again for the rest of my life until Disney Plus happened. And I found out, oh shit, Mr. Boogedy is going to be in the library on Disney Plus. And I went back and watched it, and oh boy, is it, I'm even wondering if how did 6-year-old me even buy into this fucking thing, right? Like, it's charming, don't get me wrong, but so I imagine similar vibe for you here. So, it just, not everything from sometimes nostalgia is a mistake. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But I'm sure there are still people out there who'll be able to enjoy this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people.
Yeah, this is not a garbage movie. It's just, it's not what I remember it being, and the kids are annoying.
Yeah, well, and here's, I think, a big thing about it that would be significantly different. I think that affects both of our perspectives on it. Is neither one of us have kids, and we have no intention of having kids, right? I feel like for people of your generation, this could very much be that thing that they specifically share with their kids at the right age.
Yeah, this is a kid's movie.
Yeah, if you don't have that connection, then again, it's not for you. But yeah, nothing wrong with it, just not our vibe as 30 and 40 something jaded, cynical, depressed, anxious.
Keep going. Keep describing me. It's spot on so far.
Not just you. Me. I said
snarky,
us. I said us.
Lays awake at night regretting life choices that she can never go back and undo.
Have permanent memories of 3 snippets of dialogue from a conversation you had 35 years ago. Yep. That you still just can't be like, what the fuck was that about? And you just, nah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
life's crazy.
It's
Feels
a good time.
great.
Anyway, we got 2 more of these we're trying to record here tonight on October the 2nd, 2024 as we record
and I
this out.
When we get to finish these quickly. It's kind of nice being back to our roots of a 30-minute episode.
You remember when Fried Berry was like 19 minutes? Oh my God.
We were amazed at how long it was.
Oh, it's a Fried Berry, 19 minutes. I look back on that.
That's a fucking movie.
I almost look back on that episode and just as a random thought and think that movie maybe deserves a second take.
It does. It's so funny.
Because we were so amateur at that time.
I'm fine rewatching Fried Berry. And I love that movie.
I think I didn't adequately communicate I believe something specifically I said was this movie is so fucking dumb, but in the best ways. But
I don't even think you said in the best ways. I just
think
you said
not.
It was fucking dumb and gave it a bad score.
Dumb. Oh, it's just ridiculous. But I don't know. Anyway, that was a random trail off about short episodes. Let's be done with this one and see if we can get the other 2 in the can. Say goodnight, Michelle.
Good night, Michelle.